Here.
No, I'm not a writer.
Okay.
Hi friend, I'm Jami Amerine from Sacred Ground Sticky Floors, and this is Sacred Seconds. Last time we talked about forgiveness, as in the thing, the noun. I have forgiveness. That was bought and paid for me on the cross. He gave it to me, and now I can have it. I have it. It's mine. But then there's the issue of the adjective, to be a forgiving person, and then also the verb, to forgive. And to forgive, yes, I know, and I've already heard from several of you that were like, you're going to expand on that, right? Because I have forgiveness, but how do I give it back? How do I forgive? And I think that it's important to remember that you can say, I have forgiveness, and you can believe you have forgiveness, but you might need help to forgive. But aside from that, belief is a huge part of it. And I was at the doctor's office, and I opened this magazine, and a page fell out from another magazine, so I can't link it here, but I was going to tell you the story about this woman that has this horrible trespass against her, which was that her sister had an affair with her husband, this woman's husband, and her sister, went on to get married and left her and started their own family, and she was alone without children and left reeling from the pain of the sister's betrayal and the husband's betrayal, and then also her dreams being shattered. And she goes on, she talks about some of the things that she does to cope and some of the ways that she's been healed and set free. In the midst of that, of course, her parents originally were devastated and everybody was shocked and upset, but then it became their new normal, and her husband was now her brother-in-law, and her husband's children were now her nieces and nephews. And she said, and I was left in this place where I was completely alone, and people just kept telling me that I had to forgive. Well, she said sometimes forgiveness has to happen over and over again. And even a couple days ago, I think I thought that, but I've since come to change my mind. And the reason I have is because of the wordplay, which I know it's shocking to you that I love wordplay, but I am a fan of words. Ah. So here was the thing I started thinking about. I have forgiveness, bought and paid for. That was given to me. It's mine. I own it. It's this thing. I choose to apply that by saying, I forgive, which in turn makes me a forgiving person. La. But the things that go on around that, the pain that goes around that is much bigger, but it's not too big for this Jesus that I love. So I thought of this analogy. If I came up to you with a razor blade and cut your arm, like big old whack of dew on your arm, and you're a forgiving person and you know you have forgiveness, and so you say to me, I forgive you. What still has to happen to your arm? I mean, seriously, you might want to go get a tetanus shot, and need some antibiotic cream, maybe stitches. It needs time to heal. And so I think that one of the things that has just been so enlightening to me is to know I am forgiven, I have forgiveness. And in that mess, there's still the hurt and the healing. And sometimes we may never stop really being hurt by something, but that doesn't mean that we haven't chosen to forgive. In Mark 9:24, I wasn't real sure if I was going to use this scripture because it does talk about belief, but just like we have our belief, it's a thing that we have, and we have forgiveness. Sometimes we need help with those things. And the scripture reference was, it's from Mark 9:24, and he says, this man asks Jesus for help, and Jesus says, well, you just need to believe. And he says, Lord, I believe. Now help my unbelief. And I love that in the reference of forgiveness. I have forgiveness. I have it. Help me with it. Show up and help me with it. And so I kind of wrote out these notes. I have forgiveness. I am forgiving. I am forgiven, and I offer to forgive. Lord, now help me heal in the parts that still hurt in that betrayal or that trespass against me. He's big enough for that. Makes my cheeks hurt. He's so good, and all of this coming together the way that it's come together for these last two videos has really just touched me and inspired me to remind you that you can have belief and you can have forgiveness, but you can still ask for help for those things to really bubble up and be genuine things that are tangible, something you can hold onto and know and face those hard hurts and heal. And I really do believe that forgiveness is a thing, and to forgive is a verb, and sometimes we still need help in understanding and healing in all the emotions that go around with it. Give yourself a break, sit in the lap of that Jesus, just fall into his arms and ask him, Lord, help me with this. Help me to be set free. Help me to forgive the way that you forgave. I know I have these things in me because Christ dwells in me. It's all good. He's just a good Father. And I love talking to him. And I love talking to you. So I appreciate you watching this. And if you would, like and subscribe, because that would be awesome. And I will see you back here next week. We're talking about prayer and talking to God, which should be a laugh riot. I'll link my podcast below and a couple blog posts, but be sure and subscribe and then click over in the little thing so that you get notifications so that you never miss a sacred second. Until then, Jesus be all over you, friend.
No, I'm not a writer.
Okay.
Give up on my way.